So Prince Harry and his new wife Meghan have decided to drop out of the royal family to a certain extent. What does that actually show? What does that actually tell us? Well, it's not really worth discussing them as individuals because they are allowed to use their life the way they want to use their life. But what it really takes us, if we peel back the layers a little bit more, it shows us that the construct of a royal family goes much deeper into the human than we can possibly absorb ourselves, being average people. The whole idea of royalty, kings and queens, goes back to order. It goes back to being appointed divinely. It goes back to certain restrictions and restraints. And as time went on, more rules, more laws, more regulations were layered upon layered upon layered for the royals that would encase them within their own Zoomanity. And what's happening now is really nothing new. Royals have always dropped out. There's nothing new with royals dropping out of being royal. But what it really reveals is the need for the human being to become more than what they've been created to be. And I don't mean created in a human sense. I mean the urge to go back to being human. Humanity has its different ways. It has its different means of encasing and caging people, individuals, whether they be rich, famous, royals, or whoever they are. It has its way of encasing and entrapping those things. Because this is all part of something much bigger picture. But the real truth is, we are born, we have a middle bit, and then we die. So how do we fill the middle bit? Do we do what other people are expecting us to do from start to finish and possibly live a miserable life in the meantime? It may not be miserable, of course, but a miserable life in the meantime. Or do we say, I'm taking back control of my life and I will live my life according to the way I want to live my life? Of course, it's interesting from Prince Harry's perspective. He saw what happened to his own mother and how she was turned into a media circus and a media show until ultimately the greatest ending any media promoter could have hoped for was the dramatic car crash where she was killed in the car in Paris. But it's not really about that. Maybe it's more about that. I don't want to happen to my family. I don't want to see a repeat happen to my family, his wife and his child, that happened to my mother. Now, what happens to them in the future, who cares? It's their life, they're entitled to live it. But you have to admire them for being brave, whether it works out or it doesn't work out, because they have made a decision to make a stand against a system that has told them you have to live your life this way. And you know what? On every scale, it happens on every scale. These layers, these mantras, these restrictions, these man-made constructions of how humans should live. It takes courage to break out from those things and do our own thing. Is this a sign of something much bigger? Not really. It's just a sign that Harry and Meghan are very, very human. It just shows that, you can say people are divinely enlightened. You can say that they are appointed by God, which is the whole mantra of the royalty. But at the end of the day, they are just human beings who want to live their life the way they want to live their life. And there's a big lesson there, of course, for normal people, average people, people like you and myself. And that is the question is, are we living our life the way that we want to live our life? Or are we living our life according to the constructs of other people? Then when we get to the end of our life, we may die miserable and unhappy. But that's a question only you and Harry and Meghan can honestly reply.